Hello, Internet. Welcome back to Fall 2019 box office predictions. Inside of Malik, and Aaron, and today we're going to be talking about Downton Abbey, the movie. Yay. We're going to talk about its pros and cons, so let's get right to it. Pros? Well, Downton Abbey, the movie, is based off of Downton Abbey, the series, obviously. And Downton Abbey, the series, is quite popular. And when a series is popular, there's a high chance that major studios will want to turn it into a movie because their logic around this is that, oh, millions of people watch the show. Therefore, if we make a movie version, those millions of people who watch the show will pay to see the movie. Because, I mean, it makes sense, kinda, but that whole thing, it can be somewhat inconsistent, but we'll go over that when we go to the cons. But yeah, Downton Abbey is a very popular show, which definitely helps. It's a very well known show. It's a very highly acclaimed show. It's won many awards, and it's one of the more popular shows to come out of the UK in recent memory. So that's one thing it has going for it. Second, like the whole, well, this kind of involves the first, like the fandom around Downton Abbey is very, very strong. A lot stronger than I originally thought, because I think it was about like a month ago when I heard like the pre-sale numbers for Downton Abbey. They were quite high. Like, they were exceeding movies like Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And considering Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had Quentin Tarantino and Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, that's saying a lot. That's very impressive. And at the time, I kind of thought it was just, oh, that's just a fan rush. It's not really gonna mean much, but from what I've seen from early Thursday previews and early numbers, this movie's gonna make some money. About as much money as Hustlers. And Hustlers did very well for itself. So at this point in time, it's a great time to be an adult movie in the market, because those are doing really well. Particularly ones that are aimed more towards the female demographic. And third pro, well, is obviously the lack of competition, because Hustlers, It Chapter 2, Rambo, and Ad Astra, all appealing to different audiences. All are drastically different from each other. So Downton Abbey has its own audience, and it doesn't have to deal with any type of cannibalization, in the marketplace. Oh, and another one last pro for it is the fact that Downton Abbey has no type of controversy, going into it. Like, Rambo. I'm going to save the controversy for Rambo when I do that video, because there's a lot to go over. And then I already covered, like, the controversy in Ad Astra. This movie doesn't have any of that nonsense. It stayed in its own lane, and it just didn't, it just kind of existed. And people kind of need movies that just act like movies, not movies that have some type of political motive, or piss off people who do have political motives. They just want movies that are movies, and this is one of them. And that's why this movie, from what I've seen from early numbers, it's doing very well. Now, an original con I had with this movie is kind of when it comes to adapting like a TV show to film, there's a pitfall. And the thing about Downton Abbey is it's actually a rare breed of these type of TV adaptations, because as you see right here, a lot of these are just reboots of old shows. But Downton Abbey is an adaptation that's a continuation of the show, not a reboot. So like Mission Impossible, 22 Jump Street, even Star Trek, I think are all disqualified from this. Even Charlie's Angels are all disqualified. So, from what I've researched, the best comparisons for this movie were Sex in the City. Looking down here and all the way down here. I could choose Mighty Morphin. Actually, wait, I can't. Well, Entourage. That's another one. I never realized that. Movies like Entourage, Serenity, X-Files, I Want to Believe. Movies like those. But out of those four movies, Sex and the City, Entourage, Serenity, the 2005 one, not the Matthew McConaughey one, and X-Files, I Want to Believe, only one of them was successful, and that movie was Sex in the City. In fact, that movie was a freaking blockbuster. It made $400 million worldwide back in 2008. Meanwhile, Entourage only made like $30 million in the States. Serenity only made $25 million. And X-Files, I Want to Believe, made an abysmal 20. I know some people are going to be like, but wait a minute, wasn't there another X-Files movie that came out before that? Well, the thing about the first X-Files movie is that came out while the show was still going, so it's disqualified from this comparison. So yeah, from the fact that of the four movies I mentioned, only one of them was successful, it's not a great ratio at all. But Downton Abbey, it seems to be avoiding the fate of Entourage and Serenity and X-Files, I Want to Believe. So that's good. And it also helps that it's very cheap. It's not very expensive at all. It's like $20 million bucks. And it's already made like $12 million overseas already. So it's easy money for Universal. So overall, predictions. Opening weekend, I would say. Well, originally I was gonna put it at around 20 million, but because of all because of all like the positive feedback and how the hype is building, the box office is building, I'm gonna say 30 million to 35 million, which would be very strong for a movie like this. And there's a chance it'll be front loaded after that, so it'll probably end at around 80 to 90 million, which would still be very good for this type of movie, for the modest movie that it is. So yeah, that's my prediction for Downton Abbey. Hope you enjoyed it. Next up, The Elephant in the Room, Rambo Last Blood. Can't wait to talk about all the stupidity surrounding that movie. It's gonna be great. But yeah. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. If you want to go check out some of my past predictions, I did a whole summer predictions, blockbusters and not blockbusters. I'm currently doing fall. Then I'm going to do winter, and then actually I'm going to do holidays, and then winter, and then so on and so forth. And I still have to do this 3-part summer recap. Don't worry, I'll have it done as soon as I can. It's just kind of difficult to get it all sorted out because while some movies were clearly hits, some of the movies that I'm going to be putting because the 3 categories that I said I was going to do are like the good, the meh, and the oofs. The meh category is the hardest category to put certain movies in because I know people are going to be like, this movie was successful. How are you putting this in the meh category? And some of the movies I choose for some of these categories will be controversial, but it's my opinion. So, whatever. But that'll be done hopefully soon. And yeah, that is all, and I am out.